And welcome into Canvas Stadium in Fort Collins, Colorado. We are here for the Road to State Championship Saturday show, sponsored by Raising Cane's. So before we talk football, we got to talk Raising Cane's. Do game day the Cane's way. Whether you're tailgating or cheering from the couch, fuel your crew with Raising Cane's. We're talking about hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crispy crinkle-cut fries, buttery Texas toast, and MVP of every bite, the cane sauce. We love it. Don't forget the jugs of freshly brewed tea and freshly squeezed lemonade to keep your squad refreshed. Big plays, big flavor. It's how Cane's does game day. So rally your team and make the next tailgate touchdown. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love. I got Dan Mormon. I got Doug Ottewell. We are here. I'm Ashley Giovanna. We could not be more excited to talk Championship Saturday with you guys right now. How are you guys feeling?
The road. Yeah, we are at the end of the road to state. It's been great. It's been such a fun experience. Championship Saturday is one of the best days of the year, and here we are on the field. We'll have so much coverage at Colorado Preps. We've got the shows that we're doing, obviously pregame. We'll be live post game for 3A, 4A, and 5A. We'll lead into the next ones. You can catch the games with on Altitude TV with our friends Nate Kreckman, Vic Lombardi, and the team calling those. We'll have, of course, all your written coverage at coloradopreps.com. We've got a good day of football ahead of us.
Doug, I know you're feeling like a teeny tiny bit under the weather, but you're here because it's so exciting, right?
I blame Pueblo because it was cold.
It was very cold.
And it's so warm in Fort Collins right now.
It's like 10 degrees warmer, but we're like, ooh, balmy 30. Sign me up.
Either that or I blame Jermaine.
How can our guy
You
Jermaine
can get it over a Zoom call, can't you?
He's not here to defend himself, so sure, it's Jermaine's
I
fault.
know.
and I believe our guy is watching, so we'll have to.
Hi, Jermaine. We miss you. Maybe next year. Yes, we are so excited. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. Let's talk the 5A Cherry Creek Ralston Valley matchup we have coming up later this evening. How did we all get here? Well, let's talk about it. First and foremost, with some brief highlights. We got Channing Fox giving Valor a 10-7 lead. I think that was the first play. We'll give it a second to get going. Yep, we got Channing Fox giving Valor a 10-7 lead, but it didn't hold up. Brady Bodica tossed it to Jaden Fox. We've seen it all season long, guys. We're going to see it today, too, so don't you worry. Got Creek the lead, 21-13, and at the NAC, Ralston Valley tied Mountain Vista until Levi Rilios broke for a 65-yard score. Vista tied it up. Landon Plickta. Girls are getting better for 25. There you go. Ralston Valley.
That's the 65-yard.
Yeah, there we go. We're seeing it now. Now we got Landon. Game winner, 25 yards. Ralston Valley into the title game for the first time in school history. Let's talk about this Title 5 game, this 5A game, guys. What do we like?
Ralston Valley is a great
story.
story. I mean, I feel like they've kind of been on this push to get there, and they keep coming up short, and they're finally here. Mm-hmm. So I think there's a great story behind there. Cherry Creek, obviously, you know, the powerhouse that's sort of always here. Mm-hmm. So it sets up for a great storyline, and you really love the fact that Ralston Valley got here, and they're going to have to play Creek to get to the ultimate, top of the mountain.
Sure.
Yeah, and Creek's a little banged up there without Jackson Roper today. You're at the time of the year where you have some nicks and injuries, but Creek knows how to play at this level, at this stadium, in this game. They've been here all 3 years that the games have been in Canvas. They won last year, finished second to Columbine a couple years ago. And Dave Logan got himself that Adam Schefter rub on Twitter last night. I don't know if you guys saw that. Adam Schefter with a big toss out to Dave Logan, and all of his coaching accolades. So, Creek comes in, obviously, as the team to beat. Ralston Valley, I think, is going to make it a little bit of a fight.
I think so, too. Let's talk 4A, Dakota Ridge, Palmer Ridge, Battle of the Ridges. I think I'm the only one calling it that, but honestly, how could you not, right? Battle at the Ridge, for the Ridge.
Battle for the Ridge.
For the Ridge title, the 4A state title. That's going to be a good game. I think that's one of the ones that I'm looking forward to the most today, if I'm being completely honest. But let's take a look at Dakota Ridge and how they got here from their semifinals matchup. Gets off to a start with Landon Kalsbeck scoring from yards out just a minute into the game, added another touchdown later in the first. Eagles win at 31-14. And then let's talk about Palmer Ridge also punching their ticket into Saturday from last week in the semis, trailing at halftime. Pressure on Montrose's QB, Cade Saunders, on the fourth down. Bears take advantage of some trickery. Mangus Newman I'm going to talk about Magnus Newman later. Gets long touchdown. Bears win at 31-20.
Just got right behind that Montrose defense. I mean, that's a tough thing to do. Montrose is very sound defensively. Credit to Palmer Ridge for making the long bus ride and coming back with a win.
Yep. I think they're ready to play today. I think they're very underrated. I think they're going to make a really tough matchup.
This might be the best game of the day.
I think so too.
Yeah, I mean, I think Dakota Ridge has been that team all season long. I kind of think we expected them here, but I think Palmer Ridge comes into the game with a bit of an edge because I expected Montrose to be here. So they beat the team that I think a lot of people thought would be here, and they beat them on the road. Yep. So you come into this game with a boost of confidence, knowing that you just did that. This one should be a big time bout.
Yep, that one kicking off later this afternoon. And then, of course, we've got 3A taking the field behind us, Windsor and Pomona. But how did each of these teams get here? I'm going to tell you right now. We are looking at Pomona. They were out in Palisades. That was not – we thought that was going to be a little more of a game than what it ended up being.
Yeah, I mean, they were
tied.
They were tied at 21.
So it started out that way. And – Tucker Ingersoll was a big piece of that game, a big piece of their offense all the time. So let's take a look at these highlights real quick. Tucker Ingersoll found Jaden Molina.
For the go-ahead score.
Yep. Ingersoll with a nice fake. And touchdown coming off that. 42-29 was the final over the Bulldogs. Again, I thought that was going to be a little more of a game than it was, but here we are. Pomona deserves to be here. Let's talk about Windsor. More thrilling route. They trailed Holy Family 14-7 in the fourth quarter. Mason Moore.
Dalton Schmidt with just a seal on that Mason Moore run.
Mm-hmm. And then that leads us to a full day of football. 20-yard touchdown Winders take the lead. And the game last week out in the semis over Holy Family. And here we are today at Canvas Stadium. Kickoff for the 3A championships, guys. 10 o'clock. Like, we are almost an hour away from kickoff. The teams are on the field. They're warming up. There's been snow. It's been cleared. They're ready to play.
Yeah, it's. I mean, we saw the Windsor Wizards just take the field behind us. They're the top seeded team.
I've seen some Panthers roaming around.
That's right.
Ready.
And we talked with both those teams at Raising Cane's earlier this week. It was a good group to have in there because that gets you excited to start the day off.
Yep.
You think there's any factor playing this early game because at no time during the season does anybody play a 10 a.m. game?
No.
Sometimes every once in a while you get one with district stadiums. I'll tell you what, I think if there's something to it, it helps that Windsor is 15 minutes down the road. You know, I mean, Pomona, if they stayed up here last night, that was probably a good move. I haven't seen Coach Johnson, so I haven't had a chance to ask him. But, you know, those guys, Windsor got to sleep in their own bed. I'd say they get more of their routine. So, and not that that's going to be the determining factor, but every little advantage helps, especially when you get to a state championship game.
100%.
You know, here in Colorado, we always talk about the Broncos when they take those East Coast swings and they play that game that's effectively very early in Denver. And we always say they're a little sluggish, but I guess both teams are playing in the same circumstance. I don't know. I look at it as to see which team comes out with more energy, not flat-footed, all those things. I think that's a team that may have an advantage right off the bat.
Yeah. All right, guys, we've got more football to come, but up next, we've got the CHSAA commissioner in the house. He's going to talk to us all things football and then maybe some other things, maybe snow, maybe see if he skis. We'll ask him some questions. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Raising Cane's invites you to grab life by the chicken fingers. So get out there. Be you. Do you. Embrace whatever makes you, you. All while enjoying Raising Cane's hand-battered cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crispy crinkle-cut fries, buttery Texas toast, and that secret recipe cane sauce that makes everything that much better. So go on. Savor the day.
Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
The Benefits Broker team of agents has over 100 years in employee benefits and individual health care needs and is your 24/7 resource for a variety of essential benefits-related information. Clients have enjoyed the ability to connect in person or by phone, while others enjoy the convenience of their online service where they can review the status of their claims, obtain summaries, and download forms including claim forms. Dave and Steve do their homework so you don't have to. They know the market by distinguishing the best products from the merely adequate. Give them a call at 877-545-4840 or visit them online at benefitsbroker.com.
A little more slack. Come on in. Whoever said work smarter, not harder, didn't realize you could do both.
Oh, these KDs are fire.
KD, you work here?
Whatever, kid. Take notes.
Every shoe for every athlete, only at Dick's.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Canvas Stadium here in Fort Collins. We are here for Championship Saturday, the Road to State, sponsored by Raising Cane's, and we're joined by a very special guest, CHSAA's very own commissioner, Mike Kreuger. Matt.
Well, good morning. Thank you guys for everything leading up to this. I know you had a lot of these shows,
Yeah.
but hey, we got here.
We
And-
got here.
Yeah.
It's been a really, really fun deal. So I'm hoping we get to continue to build on this and do something like this. Our goal is to help kind of build up what these games are going to be. And
Yeah.
you always want as much hype going into Championship Saturdays you can get your hands on.
No kidding. And,
100%.
yeah, and once you get here, it's just super exciting. You feel the buzz already, and you can feel it building through the week. But when you wake up on this Saturday morning and you get out here and we walk in the stadium, it's always an exciting
And,
day.
and to be clear, not any of the three of us are playing today. So if we feel this way, I can only imagine how these
Not
players
that we
feel.
didn't stretch and prepare,
I
but
did.
yeah,
I did too.
Don't
I
need to
did
go
too.
on the IR this time of year.
Okay, Mike. So you have a rich history in football. Where did your love for football come from?
I would say probably just love for sport, and then growing up and playing it. And I was a Sandlot kid. We played. I've got enough. I think I still have bruises from from cars playing in the street and playgrounds. But honestly, just love of sport. And then I really was blessed to spend some time with USA Football for a few years in the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee, and do some development work there for athlete development, and all the way through from the NFL down to the recreational programs. And so it's just really an exciting sport, and I think it's a great way for our kids to get involved.
100%. And you've been involved with the CHSAA community for a very long time. Give some people who may not know your background, because you didn't just wake up and become commissioner. Where did you start in the CHSAA spectrum of things, and how did that lead you up to his role?
Yeah, thank you. Well, I started out in education. I was a teacher and coach, and I coached at the collegiate level for a few years at Colorado Mesa. At the time, it was Mesa State. I don't remember. But got my coaching career. So started as a coach and coached everything from middle school to high school, and that's really how I got started. So my attachment to CHSAA was at that time, and then eventually moved into athletic administration and school administration. Went from the building level. I spent almost 20 years at Palisade High School over on the Western Slope.
I
And
love Palisade.
oh, me too. And then I came to Aurora Public Schools for 4 years as their district athletic director, and then officially retired and took a job with the United States Olympic and Paralympic Committee. That was the first time I'd ever left Colorado. Native of Colorado, grew up here, lived here my entire life, moved to Indianapolis for 4 years. When COVID hit, I moved back here because we went full-time remote. And then this opportunity presented itself, and it just really felt like a great chance to give back and to serve our state in that capacity and bring what little wisdom I had back to serve member schools.
Which is incredible. And now looking at the stage that we have here for these kids to be at Canvas Stadium, this is the third year. How special is it to give these players an opportunity to play here?
It's really special, and it's just an intimate setting. But here's the thing I love about this is for a lot of these kids, and for many of the kids that'll come today are families, it may be the first time they've ever stepped on a college campus, and it gives them that feeling, hey, maybe I could be here, maybe I could come here, whether that's to participate in athletics or activities or just to go to school, but see themselves there. And I'll tell you, the partnership with CSU has been just phenomenal. They really, really have embraced us and done so much good work, and just really partnered with us along with the city of Fort Collins.
We were Ashley and I were actually chatting about the way and about sometimes there's a lot of gripes about driving in Colorado. The first year the distance.
As a Texas girl, I laugh. But the distance, yes.
The first year these games were here, it was very much a let's see how it goes kind of process. I remember walking out of here last year very feeling much, I don't want to say better, but much more enthused by having the games up here. Do you guys kind of get that similar kind of feeling, the more it's here, the more you learn, the more you adapt, the better it is?
100%. I'll start with Ashley too. Being grown up and coaching and teaching and living on the Western Slope when our closest league game was an hour away.
Right.
So travel is definitely
fine.
a perception.
Right.
But I really appreciate the question, because the first year we were loved Empower Field, and we love working with the Broncos in this Hall of Fame. This opportunity came up for us. It was the smart move for us at the time, and we wanted to make sure that people would want to come up, and we exceeded attendance in our first year. Last year, we were right on track and equal to what we've done in the past. So we are just excited to have this venue, and we think it's a really great venue for the crowds that come. You know, it's intimate. You're close by. You kind of, as wonderful as Empower Field is, you know, you did feel like you're in this huge 76,000 seat stadium, and you've got this section filled, you know, and so this gives us that real sense of the value and the specialness of high school sports.
Right. And we can also come to, now it's December. We always say in Texas, like, teams remember play in December, which is exactly that. What a better way to cap off the fall season of sports in 2025 with these state championship games today.
Now, I'll tell you, yeah, we've had a really good fall. A lot of success for teams, and a lot of teams that haven't been here before, and throughout the fall. And it starts really early on. I think, you know, we get going, and we're in August, and everybody's kicking in, and we're kicking off our golf championships and our tennis championships like that. And you're like, and then it just, the snowball, no pun intended, starts running downhill.
Yeah, if you can't tell, there's a ton of snow. They did a great job clearing the field for these guys today.
Well, shoot, we were up here on Tuesday. There was nothing. So when you see, like, you know, all the snow that's pushed up against the barriers, I mean, it's wild, and it's Colorado, so we shouldn't be surprised. But it's just such a flip from. I mean, we could have been in short sleeves during the day doing our interviews on Tuesday.
No, I might not have been, but Dan might have been. So, Mike, before we let you go, I would be remiss if we didn't talk about what do we have coming up in the winter and the spring sports so that we can look forward
for sure. Well, we actually will wrap up the fall seasons with spirit competition next week. So this we definitely have today, and this is a big one. I also wanted to, before I forget, to shout out our 6-man, 8-man, 1A and 2A schools last week.
Incredible weekend of football.
That's an incredible weekend of football, and so congratulations to those schools. But we'll wrap up next week with spirit and esports championships, and then we will be I'd like to think there's a lull, but there's never really a lull.
There's never.
And then we will we're really excited about ice hockey, girls swimming, wrestling, and of course basketball in the winter.
Yeah, it's going to be a great rest of the 2025-2026 season. We're very lucky to have you stop by today. We know that you have a lot of responsibilities, so we appreciate your time.
Absolutely.
Don't go anywhere. This is the Road to State Show, sponsored by Raising Cane's. We'll be right back.
Raising Cane's invites you to grab life by the chicken fingers. So get out there. Be you. Do you. Embrace whatever makes you, you. All while enjoying Raising Cane's hand-battered cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crispy crinkle-cut fries, buttery Texas toast, and that secret recipe cane sauce that makes everything that much better. So go on. Savor the day.
Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
This is Tim Anderson of Gordon Insurance, and we are proud to support all of our area athletes. With offices in Lyman, Callahan, Flagler, Sterling, and Kit Carson, we offer all types of insurance, including home, auto, commercial, farm, crop, life, bonds, and workman's compensation. We are independent and thus can offer you multiple choices of companies, not just one. Call or visit the office near you, and one of our agents can take care of you. See all of our contact information by going to www.gordonins.com or call me at 719-740-1361.
All right, we are Hi. We're back?
Yeah.
Okay. We gotta love live TV, guys. Welcome back to the Road to State, sponsored by Raising Cane's. I'm watching some things happen in the back, and you don't need to know about it, but I was a little thrown off, so I do apologize. We're at Canvas Stadium. You can see the snow behind us. We're a little bit cold, but not quite as cold as Pueblo last week.
No, this is balmy.
Balmy. We
And
might
the
as well
sun's going to come out. It's going to
suits.
Yeah. The sun's going to come out. It's going to be great. We're but before we get going, we're just going to shout out our guy Danny Bailey because he makes all of this happen. And
He might be having an aneurysm, but he's going to be okay.
And I
Just a
swear
little
at times Danny hates me, but
No.
But no, he does a
making magic
fantastic job.
happen.
If anyone,
I don't hate people. I hate computers.
The band makes his first appearance on the Road to State.
Hey.
If anyone watched our Nuggets pregame show at Peckish last night, again, he and Ryan Blackburn did a fantastic job. I tuned in a little bit last night, and then we got to watch some fun with the Nuggets.
That was a how they ever won that game is beyond me.
I don't know.
Not for you to it's not for you to figure out. That's what you need to know, right?
But we got our own games to worry about.
That's right.
We did. We were getting ready for all of this action. Let's go ahead and start talking 5A football. Are you guys ready to talk about this 5A championship?
Oh, yes.
Break it down all the way to the nitty-gritty, because we need to make sure that you guys are ready for that 5 p.m. kickoff tonight. It's going to be dark. It's going to be chilly again, but we're going to be ready. And we're going to have 2 games on our belt. We're going to be riding on pure adrenaline by that point. But how did Cherry Creek and Ralston Valley end up in this championship game? Let's talk about it. Let's start with Cherry Creek, who played Valor last week. They had a 10-7 lead, or 10-7. They were down. Valor leading.
Valor gets the score right here to go up 10-7.
To Jaden Fox. Creek gets lead, and they won 21-13.
I mean, Jaden Fox, just an unbelievable running back.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about him in a second. Ralston Valley with
Mountain Vista last week.
Yeah, a huge 65-yard touchdown run to break a 21-21 tie. Vista came back and actually tied the game up. Ralston Valley gets in field goal position, boots it through right at the end. I think there were 2 seconds left on the clock. They tried the fancy Cal Stanford theory on the kickoff and didn't work, and here we are.
Here we are. All right, Cherry Creek, Ralston Valley. We've talked a lot about this week specifically, but Cherry Creek, Dan, you continue to say that they are banged up. Their depth is a little bit depleted right now.
Their depth isn't the issue. It's their front line. That's, when you lose a kid like Jackson Roper. Well, I mean,
I'm gonna call it like it is. It's not the same. I mean, you got depth, but like it's different. It's different.
It's a little different, but I think the big question that we've been asking is, can Cherry Creek's backup offensive line start for most 5A teams in the state? And I think that's a definitive yes.
But in the state championship, I would argue no.
You want your best,
right.
Obviously.
No, yeah, they could start any regular season game, but in the state championship, no, I don't believe that you can go head to head with another. Like at that point, you're so battle tested. Mm-hmm. It is different.
Yeah, and if they have one thing really going for them, it is most certainly experience. I mean, this is Brady Vodica's 4th state championship game.
He said that the other day, and I about fell over. That's unheard of. You just don't see that a lot. It also speaks to what an incredible athlete he is.
Yeah, and so
leader.
And leader, and he suffered 1 loss, which will keep a kid like that always, craving this win. He's got great weapons all the way around him.
Which is just an insane statement. Like he had 1 loss, he's craving it. It's just like the insanity that Cherry Creek has put together is exactly what it is, and we have to acknowledge it for that. We actually caught up with Brady Vodica a little bit earlier this week, and he was talking about the value of the experience of the senior class and what that's going to bring to the field this week.
It definitely does. Obviously, going freshman year, obviously not having a lot of experience, but being able to play throughout the year, that was super fun. But then being able to make it 14 games every single year, that was very big. And then just having an opportunity to play with these guys, a lot of them since freshman year, and we've kind of built chemistry throughout the years, and I think that definitely helps a lot. And then just being able to be back here for a couple years in a row, it's really a blessing.
It's such a unique experience, and we've been here a little bit, but it's still every single year is different. You got a different set of kids. Some maybe got here a couple times, maybe some are fortunate enough to be here more, but it's their own kind of week, and I'm big on making sure the kids understand, hey, soak all this in. Understand that you're going to have this memory for the rest of your life. So it's a really cool time for players.
Cherry Creek running back number 1, Jaden Fox.
Listen, it's always great to catch up with those kids leading up to that. Cherry Creek brought the least amount of kids to media day on Tuesday. They just got a handful of seniors.
And
but they looked at it, they knew what to do. They were ready to go.
They're very businesslike. We've talked about that all playoff run. We even a little bit like almost kind of that same feeling we had with Lyman getting off the bus last week, where there was just a business-like approach to it.
They got a job to do today.
Yeah, they know.
That's how they think about it.
100%. And they know what's expected of them, and that's very clear. Ralston Valley, not that they don't know what's expected, but this is newer territory for them, getting to the state championship for the first time. What do you like about Ralston Valley going into this game?
Well, it's hard not to like their quarterback. I mean, Zeke Andrews is a huge kid, great playmaker, headed to CSU next year. It's fun to watch a kid like that on the biggest stage in the state. So it's, it's taking a star like that and saying, hey, who's coming with me?
Mm-hmm.
And he's got playmakers around him. But obviously, like I said in the first segment, their story is great. They've been knocking on the door for 3-4 seasons now, and they're finally here. So I just think it's going to be a treat to watch this team and how they come into this game, experience or not. They're sort of ready for the moment. At least that was the feeling I got when we talked to the kids on Tuesday.
Right.
And last week, I mean, they mentioned a couple of times that semifinal game that they had against Cherry Creek a couple of years ago. I mean, that was back when you had Logan Madden, who was their starting quarterback, who, I mean, it's weird to think that at the time, I think Logan had a little bit of a higher profile than what Zeke does. But Zeke has just been a fantastic player all season long. I mean, he's got great weapons around him. Nico Bolano, we're going to talk about him, I know, in a few minutes. But this has just been a really put together team, and they're very well coached. Yano's got those guys. Coach Jared Yanacito has been building and building and building. And I think, the last thing that these guys want to do is let them down. And that's why I think this is going to be a better game than what a lot of people might think on its face, thinking it's Cherry Creek, they're going to win the state title.
Right, 100%. We caught up with Vanello earlier this week, and he talked about overcoming the adversities in that Mountain Vista win and why that could be their difference maker this week.
We're a calm team. We know how to stay collected and just everyone on our defense, like we started flat-footed and then just we were hyping each other up. And once our offense scored first, we knew it was a game again.
We went down 14-0. We just kept telling the players, stick to the game plan. We just needed something positive to get going. And when we got on the board, I felt like, it was a brand new ball game. But yeah, it was definitely a lot of anxiety and a lot of fun.
Dan, to your point, I think it was incredible to see Coach Yano and the respect that he has from all of these coaches in this state championship Saturday. That was very evident on Tuesday at Media Day. He's very well respected. He definitely has curated this team to be ready for this game this evening.
Yeah, and I was on the phone with Valor Christian coach Mike Sanford earlier in the week, and he echoed that praise. I mean, he said he had chatted with Yano a little bit, and everyone just thinks so highly of him. He's on the younger side of his coaching career. He was at Golden first, moved over to Ralston Valley. I want to say he's right around my age. I was going to say our age, but you're significantly younger and you're significantly older.
Let's not ease up on this significantly.
So yeah, I mean, Yano's right there. He stays into this. I mean, he's a guy
somewhere in 25 to 45.
That's right. He's in the key demo. He's in the key demo. This is a guy that's going to get 200, maybe 300 wins in his career.
Yeah. I think it's really just the beginning. This is not going to be the last time we see Ralston Valley in this.
No.
But first things first, keys to the game. Let's talk about the offensive keys to the game, sponsored by Upswing Foundation. We envision a world where we can all countries in unified via youth sports and shared dreaming. Let's talk about the offensive keys for Cherry Creek and Ralston Valley. Doug, we'll go with you first. What do we need to see from Cherry Creek?
I think the big thing, and we touched on it with the absence of Roper, you got to protect Bodica. I mean, they're going to run the ball, or at least you expect them to run the ball. But I think if they give him time to make plays and find his guys, I think they win the game. It comes down to that offensive line can play well and protect him. I think they stand a great chance to win.
And I'll take that one further. One of my keys to the game is going to be Ty Getchie, their big tight end. Great hands, great route runner, and you're going to get that ground going with Jaden Fox. But if they need just kind of that X factor play, the Joker, if you will, Getchie is the guy that's going to get the big reception, make a play, score your touchdown when you need it. So I've got my eyes on what Ty Getchie's going to do today.
I think Cherry Creek needs to have no mistakes. They had a couple of mistakes against Valor, some penalties early on. Coach Logan talked about it. He was like, we haven't had a lot of those all season. Then we had like a handful right out of the get-go. Can't have that. It gave Valor an edge to not to take anything away from that Valor team. It was very good. But it did give them an opportunity to inch their way above Cherry Creek. And so we need to see them with no mistakes today. For Ralston Valley, Dan, what do we need to see offensively?
Zeke Andrews, he's got to probably have the best game of his season. A fun little nugget is he was committed to CSU. He had a phone call with Jim Mora earlier in the week and reopened his recruitment. And so how great would it be for a kid like that to step on this field, have the game of his life, beat Cherry Creek for a state title, and then tell CSU, thanks for the consideration, but
I'll find somewhere else.
I'll
call home.
find somewhere
Yeah.
else to find home.
Okay.
Wow, it's kind of ruthless.
I know. I was like, nobody knew this was going to be such a telenovela.
Zeke tweeted out that he had the phone call with Jim Mora and that he was going to find somewhere else to play. So I have no problem saying that here.
No, yes, it was just the way that you said it was lovely. Yeah, I think he also has to have a clean game, as he can't have any interceptions. He had one last week, and I think that could be a detrimental piece of that for their offense. If he has anything, he's got to keep clean, trust his reads, trust his receivers.
I mean, he's the star, so yeah, he's got to be the guy. And I agree with both of you, but I think you also have to find something somewhere else if you're going to beat a team like Cherry Creek. So you're going to have Sawyer Bloomquist have a good game. You're going to have Levi. Is it Rios? Rios. Okay, that's what I thought. He's got to have a good game.
Mom, don't come for me later if that's not how you say it.
But if you get a good game out of both of those guys, and primarily that's going to come on the ground or maybe in the short passing game out of the backfield, those guys need to have a big game because they need to be able to help. Dave Logan knows the kind of player that Zeke Andrews is, so you got to count on those two guys to help pick up the slack.
Well, and don't forget Nico Bolano behind that X Factor receiver. We featured him, players on the upswing at the beginning of the year. That's a kid that can make a difference as well.
100%. Well, let's talk about the defensive keys to the game presented by Benefits Broker. Like a championship defense, Benefits Broker has you covered with all your insurance needs. Doug, let's start with you for Cherry Creek.
Well, I think you got to take away Zeke Andrews' toys. And you mentioned Benalo. You talk about Shirazi. If you can find a way to minimize those two in the game plan, take away their contributions, make their stats small, I think you really have a good chance of slowing Ralston Valley down, because Zeke's a guy that's going to make plays, but if you can take away his favorite targets, I think that minimizes what his effectiveness can be.
Yeah, and I kind of had that highlighted as well. Tate Matthews for Cherry Creek, he leads the team with 3 interceptions. I mean, they're a very diverse defensive secondary. They have a ton of interceptions across the board, but if you need a guy to step up and make a play, if Tate can get one of those untimely interceptions that Zeke was throwing, then it could
be the difference maker in this game.
You're going to get your offense is going to take advantage of it, and you're going to score points.
100%. Yeah, I think we all had the same thing. We're like, this is what it is. And then, all right, for Ralston Valley, I mean, you gotta contain Jade Fox. If he's not able to do what he always does, which is hard, nobody's really been able to do that, they have a big chance.
It's hard to say what you got to do against Cherry Creek to win, because they can beat you in so many different ways.
Right.
But I think if you have to pick your poison, you try like heck to stop the running game, or at least slow it down and make Odica beat you. Obviously that's a recipe to lose too, but I think, if you're looking at what I would try to do, I would try my best to make them not run the ball all over you, because if they run the ball, eat the clock, it's game over. So I think you got to try to at least minimize that and make them beat you at the passing game.
Yeah. And if you're going to try and make Brady beat you, you have to make him uncomfortable. So Jake Lester's a guy that can do that. He's got 7.5 sacks on the season. So if you put yourself in a position where you're forcing Creek to throw the ball and you can get a decent pass rush in there, good things might happen.
Ooh, well, this 5A game kicks off at 5 p.m. tonight. So we've got a lot more football on the way, because we got 3 and 4A. You see these Windsor Wizards taking the field behind us. I believe we are getting closer to game time, guys. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Road to State Championship Saturday, sponsored by Raising Canes.
Raising Canes invites you to grab life by the chicken fingers. So get out there. Be you. Do you. Embrace whatever makes you, you. All while enjoying Raising Cane's hand-battered cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crispy crinkle-cut fries, buttery Texas toast, and that secret recipe cane sauce that makes everything that much better. So go on, savor the day.
Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
There are those who say the modern world has made us lose touch with places like this. We say, that depends on what you're driving.
The Benefits Broker team of agents has over 100 years in employee benefits and individual health care needs and is your 24/7 resource for a variety of essential benefits-related information. Clients have enjoyed the ability to connect in person or by phone, while others enjoy the convenience of their online service where they can review the status of their claims, obtain summaries, and download forms including claim forms. Dave and Steve do their homework so you don't have to. They know the market by distinguishing the best products from the merely adequate. Give them a call at 877-545-4840 or visit them online at benefitsbroker.com.
Sony Lee? Bro!
You really think you can outflip me?
Oh my hopes!
That's cute.
Every shoe for every athlete, only at Dick's.
All right, welcome back to Raising. Welcome back to Raising Canes. We're not at Raising Canes. I just wish we were, because I could use a three-finger combo right now, if I'm being honest.
Oh man,
give me some Texas toast about right now.
Yeah, that's all right.
Toasty toast for some cold days. I'm so excited about it. Let's talk about Raising Canes because they are our sponsor for Championship Saturday, the Road to State. We're here at Canvas Stadium, guys. 3A kicks off in about an hour. It is such a day, but Raising Canes. Game day is calling, guys. Raising Canes is bringing the party. Tailgates got tastier with hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers, that legendary cane sauce. Don't forget to add crispy crinkle fries and a buttery Texas toast, jugs of freshly squeezed lemonade, and freshly brewed tea. Personally, I like the sweet tea to turn your tailgate into a touchdown. Raising Canes chicken fingers, one love. Guys, let's jump right into 4A. We are looking at the Battle of the Ridges. I'm just going to keep calling it that so nobody can stop me. Dakota Ridge, Palmer Ridge. We'll be here this afternoon for 1 o'clock kickoff.
1:30 kick.
1:30 kick. I'm just so excited. I wanted it to be 1 o'clock. Let's start with the top-seeded Dakota Ridge. This is the only matchup that we have today that's not 1 and 2. It is 1 and 3.
Yep.
So we're still the top end of the bracket, but it is always a bit of a surprise because we have 1 and 2 in 3A and 1 and 2 in 5A. So no surprises there. But let's start with Dakota Ridge and how they ended up here on Championship Saturday from last week, looking at their semifinals game against Heritage.
Calls back with a big run
Yeah.
just to get them going.
Just over a minute into the game, add another touchdown later. Eagles win it 31-14. And then taking a look at Palmer Ridge, they trailed at halftime. So this was not a go-ahead win for them. Got pressure on the Montrose QB. On 4th down, Bears take advantage of some trickery.
That was a big stop.
Yeah.
And then
we got Mangus Newman. I'm going to talk about him in a minute. Gets a long touchdown. Bears won at 31-29, inching that out, but a total win that they earned.
Oh yeah,
all the way through.
It was Montrose's only loss on the year. Whoever came out of that game was going to hand the other their first loss,
Yeah.
right? That was the game where we kind of knew we kind of thought Dakota Ridge was going to beat Heritage, and it was really tough to determine or for us to guess the outcome of that Palmer Ridge Montrose game. Montrose with a lead at halftime is extremely dangerous because they run the ball very well. They got, as we saw on that first drive of the third quarter, they got Palmer Ridge got Montrose into a very uncomfortable situation on 3rd and 3. Montrose tried throwing the ball, which is, not what you would expect from that team. And when you're trying to throw deep for a team that lines up in that double wing T, trying to just pound it, they got a great turnover on downs, took advantage, and here they are.
Yeah, Palmer Ridge again. I think that they're going to give Dakota Ridge a tough time today. I think this is going to be an exciting game. And we talked about it last week with the other games. All we want is good football.
Yeah, and
all we want is good football.
And this is the one that we've kind of pegged as like this is going to be a good football game.
Yep. 100%.
Well, you think about Montrose last year in this very stadium, and they had that same kind of lead going into half, and you saw Broomfield chip away at it. I don't know, Montrose in my mind was maybe the class of this class all season long. I didn't think anybody was going to beat them. So I think you have to give Palmer Ridge, I don't know if I want to say an edge because Dakota Ridge has been tremendous all season long, but the confidence that comes along with beating a team like Montrose on the road, it's got to carry over into today.
Well, and Dakota Ridge had already had a win over Heritage. So they're, it's more of reaffirming what you are coming into this, whereas Palmer Ridge has an extra boost of confidence going to the Western Slope and being able to knock off one of a team that was ranked number 1 in the Colorado Preps polls all year long.
100%. Well, we actually caught up with Dakota Ridge's Landon Callsback on coming off of that 31-14 win in the semis earlier this week.
No credit to me. That was all my own line. such good holes, such good blocking, and I can't take really much of the credit for that one. Being able to control the clock is definitely important, but I also think we have a super talented quarterback, Kellen Berenson. We got four talented receivers who can make plays too. So although I do think our running game has really been coming together nicely these past couple of weeks, I also think that we are just as big of a threat in the air as well.
When two teams are just really two of the best and they're supposed to be playing each other, there's like razor thin differences, right? So to me, special teams is always a big part of it. And our special teams has really come a long ways this year, probably our most improved phase throughout the course. And so I think them showing up and covering kickoffs well, thinking about sort of that yardage that you don't always account for, where you start with the ball, where they start with the ball, things like that, ability to flip the field when you don't score, that to me is going to be part of it. And then, with the physicality, what you're hoping is that as a defensive team that your physicality will lead to turnovers, and as an offense you're hoping that it doesn't, and that's definitely going to be a big part of the difference. Coach Yano and Coach Johnson are both friends of mine. I'm rooting for them, and I know they're rooting for us, and I do think there's something to be said about that, where people will stay, and you pay $22, you get to stay the whole day, might as well catch it all.
The one thing that Coach Berenson touched on that we haven't even talked about today, 3 Jeffco teams.
We talked about it being a possibility 2 weeks ago, and now that it's come to fruition is wild.
Yeah.
Has that ever happened in the history of Colorado where like you had multiple levels? It's also like such a massive district.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a lot of schools, but like to have that varying level and being like, oh, we have representation in every single slot on Saturday.
And well, it's a tricky question because this is only the second year where all 3 championship games have been at the same site, at least in recent history. Doug, you might know if that's been the case from way back.
They've been playing on the same day.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and I would say it's even trickier if you look back in history because there probably hasn't been a lot of variance in what classification the Jeffco schools have been in.
Right.
As far as the big football schools. I would say most of the time they're 5A, 4A. To see Pomona in 3A still.
Well,
that's
the funny part is like there's a lot of people, and we're included in this, that if you said, man, Pomona and Ralston Valley are playing on the final day of the season, you're thinking that's the 5A title game.
Right.
You're wondering what happened to Cherry Creek.
Mm-hmm.
But enrollment dipped. Coach Johnson had talked about that a little bit in the press conference on Tuesday, and they felt it was best for their program to play where their enrollment put them. You can't really fault any school for wanting to do that. And here they are. It took a little bit to rebuild that program because I think they were like a 2 or 3 win team there at the end of their 5A tenure.
Yeah, there you go. I think that's important to note. Now, also, going back to the Palmer Ridge thing now, I think the grit that they have is such a testament to their win coming out of that Montrose game. And we actually talked to Cole Harris, their quarterback, earlier this week on playing for the title game this week and how that.
I remember being in the locker room looking around, and I just don't want to feel that way this year. So we're gonna go get it.
Back to the adversity piece. We handled the adversity, I thought, pretty well against Montrose. And if you guys remember, second round against Mesa Ridge, that was a good game, and we knew we had our hands full against that team because that's a really talented, 14 seed there. So it was good to see our guys kind of handle those low moments, I guess, and still be able to pull off wins. It helps just having the experience, I would say, but they're still a very talented football team at the end of the day. So.
My favorite part about that is that we were talking to Cole Harris, their quarterback, and the first clip is him getting a receiving touchdown.
Right.
Oh, we promised he's the quarterback.
Oh, the irony.
I know. Listen, but again, that speaks to their versatility and what they're able to do on the field and put out. And I think it's going to be a really great game. I don't want to overhype it too much, but the more we look into it, I can't walk away with any other thought.
Well, I think this is a battle of 2 really good coaches too.
Mm-hmm.
Guys that are creative, guys that understand what they do well, understand what they can do in a pinch.
And what they have.
Yeah, I think this is a great coaching matchup. We talk about the Dave Logans of the world, but there's great coaches in every classification.
Honestly, all 6 coaches that are here today are incredibly well respected, not only by their teams, but by the other coaches that are taking the field today. And I think there's a huge thing to be said about that. Nobody is too good to be here. Nobody is not wanting to talk to anybody. Everybody's been really supportive and really wonderful to work with. So I think that speaks volumes always. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Offensive keys to the game sponsored by Upswing at Upswing's Foundation. We envision a world where all countries are unified via youth sports and shared dreaming. Dan, let's start with you for Dakota Ridge. What do they need on offense?
Kellen Berenson. He's got to be kind of that
story. Next.
He's just got to be that steady hand. I mean, we all know that Landon's going to get his carries, but when they need a little something different from that offense, Kellen just needs to kind of have that poise that he's had all year in getting here. He's had a fantastic season. Dad's the head coach, so there's probably a little bit of a microscope at the dinner table tonight based on the outcome of the game. But that's what I'm watching for is how Kellen is able to kind of control that offense today.
Dan, you're making it too hard. Just give Landon Cole the ball.
I
Just
know.
give him the ball.
Right?
That's what they did last week. That's what they'll do today. I expect he'll have another big game. The only problem is that everybody here knows that. So we'll see how Palmer Ridge tries to defend that.
He is a big boy, though, so it's going to take a lot for that Palmer Ridge defense. Speaking of defensive keys to the game, not to jump around a little bit, but the Palmer Ridge defense, they have to contain him, and that's not going to be easy. You can't just put.
Don't look at my notes.
Don't look at your notes. Don't look at my notes. We don't have notes. But that's kind of how I felt about Dakota Ridge too. It's Landon all day. Don't complicate it. And if he has a similar game anywhere near like what he had last week, or 200 yards, he had 3+ touchdowns. Like that's a game over for Dakota Ridge.
I mean, just look at the kid. No one wants to try to tackle that kid for 4 quarters.
I don't.
No,
nobody.
No.
I mean, he's just that physically imposing. So I think that plays into both of these teams are very physical, but eventually, it's kind of the Marshawn Lynch, just bust him in the mouth, bust him in the mouth, bust him. That's what they're going to do.
Yep, 100%. Now for Palmer Ridge, let's flip that on its head. What do you see from the Bears?
That O-line. I mean, they're big, they're tough, they're physical, and them getting the running game going is going to be just as crucial to their championship hopes. So if that O-line plays the way that it's played all year, this could be a good day for the Bears.
I think they got playmakers all over the field. You mentioned Newman, Jackson Mabe, Zach Chrysler. I mean, these guys can make plays. You just got to find creative ways to get the ball in their hands. And once you do, I think good things will happen. So, all these guys are athletes, but I think if you can really find ways to get those guys the ball in space, good things will happen and you'll score a lot of points.
Yeah, I think Mangus Newman is going to be key to that offensive. That is such a piece of their offense that's going to be really hard to stop for Dakota Ridge. And I think that if he has a big game and they're not able to contain him, that the Bears are going to come out on top. Let's look at the defensive keys of the game. Defensive keys brought to you by Benefits Broker, like a championship defense. Benefits Broker has you covered with all your insurance needs. So good to know there. But insurance purposes, defensive keys for Palmer Ridge.
For Palmer Ridge, it's Brody Elliott. He's got 10.5 tackles for loss on the year, and I think we mentioned it earlier in the show. If you're going to beat Dakota Ridge, you have to get them behind the line of scrimmage. You have to get that offense moving backwards just a little bit, enough times to make third down situations pretty difficult. So if Brody Elliott can have himself a good day in that front seven, I think Dakota Ridge is going to be pretty good defensively.
Yep, I was going to say I'm containing Landon. Like if you contain Landon, I think that you got a chance.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is I think you got to try to minimize the effectiveness of calls back, and if you can do that, then I think it's a little bit like we talked about Cherry Creek. They can beat you multiple ways. So it's sort of that careful what you wish for kind of mentality. But I think if you have to pick one, you got to try to stop play a lot of guys in the box. Try to make him beat you with the pass.
100%. Dakota Ridge defensive keys. Doug, you go first.
For me, I think it's more of a
I would say it was
days because what happened with the Montrose game, I mean, people forget, Palmer Ridge was down big at halftime and they came back because they had big explosive plays. We mentioned those big playmakers that they have, and you want to avoid those guys taking the game over in 1 or 2 plays at a time. And I think that's the key for Dakota Ridge is sort of slow and steady wins the race. If you can make them, try to get long drives as opposed to big explosive plays, I think you stand a good chance.
100%. That's kind of very similar to what I put. They have to match the grit of the Palmer Ridge defense because Palmer Ridge held off a surge from Montrose in the 4th quarter last week and still came out on top. That is just, if not
going where you guys went on offense. Landon Carlsbeck is actually a key for me on defense. He's forced 5 fumbles this year. This is a game where the tempo is going to be determined on the ground. So if Landon can get in there, I mean, talk about hating to tackle the guy. How about getting tackled by the guy?
all of it sounds terrible.
It all sounds really, really bad. So, I mean, if he hits you hard enough and he jars that ball loose and creates turnovers, I mean, that's
over.
a formula for a Dakota Ridge win.
Listen, we are very much looking forward to that 1:30 kickoff for the 4A championship game. But don't go anywhere. We got more. We got 3A. We got Broncos are making an appearance.
The Denver Broncos?
The Denver Broncos. You don't want to
The
miss that.
Denver Broncos?
Coming up next.
Raising Cane's invites you to grab life by the chicken fingers. So get out there. Be you. Do you. Embrace whatever makes you, you. All while enjoying Raising Cane's hand-battered cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crispy crinkle-cut fries, buttery Texas toast, and that secret recipe cane sauce that makes everything that much better. So go on, savor the day.
Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
When I go to court, these aren't my clients, these are my friends. These are people that I believe in. And they have one shot, just one shot for justice. If they've come to me and we've gotten to trial, their life has been turned upside down in some awful way. And I am their only hope. I need to be their champion, to quote Prince Oberyn from Game of Thrones. They need someone in this trial by combat that can fight for them. I'm all they have. So if I haven't put the time in, if I haven't trained, if I haven't humbly looked in the mirror and thought about ways I can be better, and I don't present my best self in court, then I failed them. And that's what motivates me as a trial lawyer, because when this is over, that client goes home. And if I haven't done my best for him, I haven't been his champion, then I've failed.
This is Tim Anderson of Gordon Insurance, and we are proud to support all of our area athletes. With offices in Lyman, Callahan, Flagler, Sterling, and Kit Carson, we offer all types of insurance, including home, auto, commercial, farm, crop, life, bonds, and workman's compensation. We are independent and thus can offer you multiple choices of companies, not just one. Call or visit the office near you, and one of our agents can take care of you. See all of our contact information by going to www.gordonins.com or call me at 719-740-1361.
Welcome back to Canvas Stadium. I'm in Fort Collins. We are here for Championship Saturday. This is the Road to State, sponsored by Raising Cane's. That's Dan, that's Doug, I'm Ashley. We're here, and we're going to take a break about talking about the guys on the field right now. We're going to talk about the 10-2 Denver Broncos coming off that overtime win against the Commanders. I am a Denver Broncos fan by proxy, but I don't live and die by it like you guys do. Are you doing okay after that game this week?
Oh yeah.
I get it.
This is the norm.
I love getting my weekly text from Doug that says, man, it is really hard to stay awake for the first half of these games. It's a good thing the second half will keep you awake all night.
That's fair. 100%. Well, you know what? These Denver Broncos didn't get to the NFL just by waking up one day and being like, I'm going to play NFL football. A lot of these guys played in high school and have a lot of fond memories, and they shared them with us. So check it out.
I would say it was actually no. I'll take just beating we had a rival every year between Tarpon Springs High School. It was like a big rival within the area, and winning that game every year was pretty big. You know, there would be a ton of people at the games. You know, even like a bunch of cops just for like protection because it was such a like kind of a heated rivalry. Not like crazy.
Was this before the social media area?
Yeah, before it like really got, you know what I mean? Before it really got big. I'm not that old, but yeah, no, I would say beating our rival every year.
Okay, huge shout out to Cody Rourke who got all of this footage for us. What a champ. We appreciate you so much, Cody. But also, that's so valid to think about. These kids are playing in a different era. Social media is so prevalent. We were just talking about how a lot of these kids have social media profiles for recruiting.
Yeah, I mean,
that's insane.
I know more about high school kids by what they post about themselves than any full media service outlet. With all due respect to Dan Mormon, they tell you what's going on, and I don't think that was always.
They tell you what they want you to know is going.
I mean, that's social media in general. It's your highlight reel. Okay, let's take a look at another clip.
This team that we have played for many years, they were in our district, and no Lexington team, so no team from the city has beat them in, quite some time, probably like 5 years running. and it was a home game for us, and came down to like the last second, and we ended up winning. So that was just a big thing for, just for the city and just our school in general.
Devin Key with a great little note. One, that sounds like maybe a Cherry Creek team that Ralston Valley could knock off today. This team that no one can seem to beat. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying, imagine Zeke Andrews being able to tell a story like that down the road. Quick little note about Devin Key, too. The Denver Broncos went down to Cherry Creek's first playoff game against Fountain Fort Carson. And I ended up talking with Devin a little bit and explaining the intricacies of 6- and 8-man football to him. The guy was so enthralled by the idea that you were playing 6-man football like tackle version. Mm-hmm. And if he could see videos of Gabe Ketcher from last week, I think he would be very impressed.
Everybody who watches that is going to be impressed. Okay, let's take a look at another.
For me, I would say my best high school moment was my sophomore year when we won state. First of all, we had a state game that was we were the home team, so we were literally in our home city. Everybody came out, so the stands were packed, people were standing up. And we won too. We made history for our high school, so that was a pretty good moment. I had a pretty good game myself personally, so that was pretty cool. And that's what kind of got me. Well, not really, because I already had a couple offers in high school or my freshman year, but that's what kind of got me on the national radar, my football career.
Troy makes such an excellent point, guys. This stage is so big; it could get attention of another school where wasn't previously in tune with what some of these guys are doing.
Well, and we can go back a few years ago. Zach Rakowski at Loveland is a perfect example when that Loveland team just rolled over Palmer Ridge for the 4A title down at, it was the COVID year, so all those games were down in Pueblo. John Riston waited until, in his words, no one important was talking to Zach. It was in the middle of my post-game interview with him to offer the kid a scholarship. So, you love seeing that in these environments, these kids playing to a level that gets them those kind of looks.
I think if you're a college coach and you see a kid step up on the biggest stage as opposed to wilt or fail in the moment, that's a big quality that any athlete can have.
Indicator. You could be an asset to my team, 100%. Mike McGlinchey also gave us some insight to his high school experience.
Best high school football moment. Had a lot of them. I was very fortunate to play with my cousins and brothers in high school. We all went to the same school. One of the coolest plays I ever was a part of in high school was my brother Frank and I. It was my senior year. We were playing McDonough, and I had a strip sack, and Frank was the one that picked it up. He was playing linebacker behind me, and he picked it up and scored. And I think I celebrated so hard that I concussed my brother after the play, but that was a pretty cool moment that we were able to tag team a touchdown.
First and foremost, I think we could also say that we've seen a lot of family sets in some big games in Colorado, which is really cool. There's a lot of rich family football history here, which is awesome. So we can relate to that, but also I don't know him personally, but that about
how many times did Mike McGlinchey concuss his own brother? Over the course of their life, it has to be a dozen. The poor kid's walking around with CTE, and you never,
it wasn't specifically football. No, he's just a little rattled from time to time.
What happened to your brother that's as big as Mike McGlinchey?
But also, that's kind of the thing. It's these are we hear this a lot of sentiment from these players where they're saying, "I play with my brothers. I play with." No, Mike was literally playing with his brother. And he was so excited. That's
a great story.
And then to round us out, we have Jared Stidham, who also talked to us about his high school experience.
I would say, so my sophomore year, so we won the state championship. And I didn't even play quarterback back then. I played receiver. And I had 2 touchdowns that game. And at that time, we set, I don't know if it still stands or not, but we set the record for most points scored in a state championship game at 70. And we won 70-35. That was pretty cool.
That's a lot.
Well, I want to know why, of all the trick plays that Sean Payton likes to throw out, how come we haven't seen wide receiver Jarrett Stidham for the Denver Broncos?
It just goes to show you that
I think it's coming.
Athletes are athletes.
100%.
And a guy like Stidham, he probably just had to wait his turn because there was probably some senior that had played a couple years. And what are you going to do? He's a great athlete. Now you play receiver. And then when it's time to play quarterback, you're good enough to go to the NFL.
Yeah. Listen, it was such a pleasure to have them featured on our
Cody Rourke,
show.
thank you,
Cody,
buddy.
You're the best, man.
Heck of
We
a high
appreciate
school
you.
football player in his own right, Cody Rourke.
That's right.
So he knows a little something.
Cody
about
better
this.
be here next year. I'm gonna riot. Okay. We expect that from you, Cody. I'm gonna get that in writing somewhere. Thank you so much. Now the Denver Broncos are playing.
They're in Vegas
They're in
tomorrow.
Vegas, right?
Dave Logan's going to catch a flight
Yeah.
later tonight.
Yes, he's busy. Dave Logan's a busy guy.
He could probably drive.
No, don't make
And make it for
that.
kick. Yeah,
It's like an
probably.
hour. Like,
The problem is
tight,
the problem is I hope the window for his flight isn't too tight because if Cherry Creek wins, he's got to sit at this desk afterwards.
That's right. Yeah.
I think he'll give us a solid 60 seconds of his time before he's got to go to his next job. Okay, everybody, don't go anywhere. We are previewing the guys who are on the field right now, Windsor and Pomona, right when we come back.
Raising Cane's invites you to grab life by the chicken fingers. So get out there. Be you. Do you. Embrace whatever makes you, you. All while enjoying Raising Cane's hand-battered cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crispy crinkle-cut fries, buttery Texas toast, and that secret recipe cane sauce that makes everything that much better. So go on. Savor the day.
Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
The Benefits Broker team of agents has over 100 years in employee benefits and individual health care needs and is your 24/7 resource for a variety of essential benefits-related information. Clients have enjoyed the ability to connect in person or by phone, while others enjoy the convenience of their online service where they can review the status of their claims, obtain summaries, and download forms including claim forms. Dave and Steve do their homework so you don't have to. They know the market by distinguishing the best products from the merely adequate. Give them a call at 877-545-4840 or visit them online at benefitsbroker.com.
A little more slack. Plug it in.
Whoever said work smarter, not harder, didn't realize you could do both.
Yo, I can guard pro in these.
I can guard you and route you up.
You sure about that?
You fellas looking for a quarterback?
The goal!
You're right, Billy. These do bring out my eyes.
Every shoe for every athlete.
Dix is the GOAT.
All right, we are back at Canvas Stadium for the Road to State Championship Saturday, sponsored by Raising Cane's. Pomona and Windsor are about to kick off in just under 30 minutes. I do believe, time-wise, that's what we're looking at, 30 minutes.
We got football in 30 minutes.
Crowd's getting restless because they're starting to heckle us.
I know. People are starting to tune in here in the stadium, but they're confused why we were facing not the field. We're like, don't worry, we'll watch the games. That's not how we roll. Okay, let's take a look quickly at how Pomona and Windsor ended up in this championship game. This from the semifinals. Pomona and Palisade.
Tucker Ingersoll to
Yep.
Jaden Molina for the go-ahead score.
Yep, Ingersoll with a nice fake. Touchdown run to put the exclamation point at 42-29. Again, that was tied, but then they pulled it out over the Bulldogs. It wasn't even a question for those Panthers. Now take a look at Windsor. More thrilling route, some would say. They trailed Holy Family 14-7 in the fourth quarter. Mason Moore.
Big touchdown run.
28
Dalton
yards, tie
Schmidt
the
again
game.
with that seal
And then again, Moore.
to Adrian Shiston.
Shiston. Wizards take the lead and the game. And here we are. I feel like we talked so much about this team, but quick thoughts before we hear from them.
Best two teams in 3A all year. We saw so much flux with I mentioned it before where Holy Family goes out and beats Meade and then loses to Pueblo East. And, Roosevelt had a couple of those weird losses mixed in. These two teams didn't have it. Pomona's only loss was to Dakota Ridge. And Dakota Ridge is playing football today as well. So, I mean,
we'll let that one slide a hair. Just a hair. Doug, what are we feeling?
I think, Windsor's path here, beating Holy Family, a team that kind of came in red hot, throwing the ball all over, and they were down. I think that speaks volumes to the kind of resolve they have. And, just talking to their coaching staff, they're fun. Like, this is a moment that they're just having fun with. They're very excited to be here. And I think, obviously that's true of every team that's here. I think there's a big difference in their approach to, say, a Cherry Creek or Lyman, which this is a business trip. Windsor seems to be just in the moment to me.
Yep.
And I think they're playing loose. And that's a good thing for a high school football team.
And the one thing that I've noticed, and I think this applies to Windsor above all else, but it's very much true for all these teams, is they are very much taking on the personalities of their head coach. Like, Chris Jones is so happy for his team to be in this environment and to be able to experience this.
He's having fun.
Yeah,
I mean,
and it trickles down, and that's not to say that they're lax about trying to win the game.
Chris Jones understands what it means for these boys to play on this field and how it will impact them for the rest of their lives. And that's not just the outcome of the game. It is what goes into making it to this game on this Saturday at the highest level that they can and putting everything they can and leaving it on the field today. And those lessons are invaluable.
Well, I thought one of the most, I thought it was just neat that he said it. That one of the best things about getting to a state championship game is you get another forever. 68 hours with them. And that's just kind of, and I can't remember the exact math, but it was basically, hey, if you lose, everybody does their own thing.
You got basketball
season,
wrestling
season, whatever.
On to the next.
But if you win, you get another week with these same kids, and you get that much more time to mold them, know them, teach them. So I thought that was just a
100%.
refreshing approach and a great thing to hear from a coach.
Well, we actually talked to Adrian Chiston and Coach Jones earlier this week, and they had a lot to say about making it here to Saturday.
Ever since last year when we beat them in the playoffs, we knew that they were going to come back hungrier and wanting to just come back and have a winning season, just come back for that title and beat us. And so we knew that they were always going to be it was going to be us and Windsor at the end of the day, because we would see all those other teams Thompson Valley was good and there's those other teams, but really we knew it was always going to be us in that heavyweight battle. And so when it comes this Saturday, we know it's going to be a slugfest. And so it's kind of we've been itching for this, if anything.
It's us and Windsor. We really thought that going in.
In the beginning of the year, we didn't look like a very good team, I will say. We made a lot of mistakes. A lot of bad stuff has happened, and we had to find a way to overcome it. We had some pretty close games against some teams that we shouldn't have had close games. I think that helped us get to where we are right now. Like last year, we lost to Green Mountain, a game we shouldn't have lost, and it kind of dictated the rest of our season. We did really good until, of course, we lost in quarterfinals. But this year, we had a lot of really, really close games. And then we started looking at those mistakes, and we looked at those games instead of failures. We looked at them as goals, how to get better than we were at those teams. And then we kind of just used those close games to kind of help us lead us to where we are right now.
If you get one, that's the dessert, right? And I always tell them, if we get this game, 48 minutes of hard work, then you're a family forever. The teams that have won for us in the past, the last two times, those guys still stay in touch. Even the guys from 2011 are texting me all during the playoff run, and there's just a great connection with them, and those guys will be connected, for a lifetime. And yes, it is a game of football, but I like to think that all these guys do the same thing we do. It's bigger than just trying to score more points.
That I think that is the epitome of Coach Jones. It was very apparent he feels very strongly like that. It's bigger than football for him and his players and his staff. So that was really cool to hear.
And the goal is always to win a state championship, especially when you get to this point. But I think what he loves is everything that comes with winning that state championship in terms of that camaraderie and that bond.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah, and that's just, you can just see that he is very grateful to be here, and not just to win, but just grateful for the time and the chance.
Well, and now bumping up to Pomona, Dan, you really touched on an important point of these two best teams coming together in 3A on this field. There was not a lot of questions throughout the season that Windsor and Pomona were going to meet in the state finals. And here we are. That is in fact true. It was inked last week, and Emmett Munson from Pomona echoed exactly that. They've been looking forward to this and making this a reality all season long.
Ever since last year when we beat them in the playoffs, we knew that they were going to come back hungrier and wanting to just come back and have a winning season, just come back for that title and beat us. And so we knew that they were always going to be it was going to be us and Windsor at the end of the day, because we would see all those other teams Thompson Valley was good and there's those other teams, but really we knew it was always going to be us in that heavyweight battle.
And so when it comes this Saturday, like we know it's going to be a slugfest. And so it's kind of like we've been itching for this, if anything. Like
it's us in Windsor. We really thought that going into the season, taking nothing away from like a Lutheran or a Roosevelt or a Palisade or Holy Family, who played really tough last week and had chances to win against Windsor. But we really felt these were the top two teams. And, you know, like I said, it's going to be a primetime fight, man. I'm really looking forward to it.
See, it was good to hear Coach Johnson thought it as well. It was they knew. They knew this was going to be the case. And honestly, as things started to shake out in the playoffs, it makes sense.
And when you just start feeling out ebbs and flows, I mean, there were probably 4 teams that we could have said would have played in the 4A state title game. Cherry Creek, I think, was one of the givens. And sounds like Windsor's retaking the field.
Windsor is on our side of the stadium. That's all you need to know.
I thought the crowd just loved what Dan Mormon has to say. I guess it wasn't him.
No,
if only we could pump up his confidence.
We're gonna have some fun with this crowd here in a minute, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, you like as you feel out the ebbs and flows. We felt like it was always going to be Cherry Creek, but the other team was very much a question mark because you had Ralston Valley, Mountain Vista, Valor. You know, all those guys in there, Arvada West at one time. So. 2 best teams. I mean, and
what a way to kick off the day with this 3A.
Also, 2 great uniforms. I mean, this
little Minnesota Gophers
uniforms of the day.
Okay,
Just
bold
saying.
statement.
Pomona's
I wore
got
green to be neutral. That was my goal. It was very like in a political statement. It's like I can't wear a team color, so I'm showing no bias. But yes, I agree with that to an extent. Sure, no one's in navy and gold like Notre Dame, so I mean they're fine. Actually, that's a lie. Palmer Ridges. I take that back. Quickly, offensive keys to the game, sponsored by Upswing Foundation. We envision a world where all countries are unified via youth sports and shared dreaming. Doug, let's start with you. Offensive keys to the game for Windsor.
I think it starts with Adrian Chishton. I mean, get him the ball, give him the ball often, let him do his thing. I mean, we talked to him, we watched him do his thing all season. I don't think you have to change it up. Just do the same thing.
That is exactly what I wrote. Tristan all day. If he continues to do exactly what he's done all season, he's going to give a lot of problems to the Panthers defense.
I like Mason Moore just from the standpoint of, again, controlling that offense like I talked about a little bit with Carlsbeck. But if he has to throw a lot, you know, I don't want to say Windsor's in trouble, but it's not the best sign. This is very much a running team. Speaking of running, the other offensive key to the game, run to the right side where the big OU commit's just going to push everyone out of the way.
Deegan is a big boy. It was confirmed that he could eat the most Caniac combos, and I stood next to him. He's over a foot taller than I am. I don't doubt that for 1 second. Offensive keys to the game for Pomona.
Tucker Ingersoll. He threw that touchdown pass to give them the lead against Palisade last week, and then you saw the fake handoff and just bootleg out run. He's got speed. He can throw it. If he has a good day, Pomona has a good day.
I think Rylan, Tucker, and Luis had such a dynamic game on the ground last week, and they showed a lot of diversity for the Panthers that I think if they do something similar this week, that will give the Windsor defense a lot of trouble.
I look at Molina and Santana to be the big keys. I mean, I think between them, they had something like 24, 25 touchdowns on the season. I think they're the guys. They're the guys that put the points on the board, and you got to get them the ball.
The Windsor crowd likes your Pomona offensive key to the game.
Yeah, there you go. All right, and then let's talk defensive keys to the game presented by Benefits Broker. Like a championship defense, Benefits Broker has you covered with all your insurance needs. Windsor defensive keys to the game. Dan.
Isaiah Crank. He's got 5 picks, and he's the team leader in tackles. He's kind of like your Alex Singleton for Windsor, if you will. Just he's kind of that ball hawk. If he's involved, I think the defense is going to be solidified, and they have a great shot to win this game.
I think it comes down to rhythm or not allowing Pomona to get into a rhythm. Mm-hmm. So if you can have some tackles for loss, if you can get a sack, if you can have a turnover in the backfield, you know, those kind of things just to get Pomona off of their game. Pomona's a very good offensive team. If you can just make it tough, make them play behind the chains, I think they stand a better chance.
Yeah, I think Andrew Miller and Ryan Myers are going to have to be huge for Windsor for them to be got to win. Okay, Doug, Pomona's defensive keys to the game.
It's hard to say this is a defensive game, but if you can get up early and make Windsor more one-dimensional, in other words, if you can make Windsor try to pass, I think you're going to win the game. I mean, obviously, Dan touched on this a second ago. they like to run the ball. That's what they do. So if there's a way, if you're Pomona, to take that away or to make them have to pass the ball, I don't think Pomona loses the game if Windsor gets into a passing game.
Pomona or Emmett Munson is a two-way star for Pomona. He's good offensively, good defensively, but I think like the real meat of what he does is on the defensive side of the ball. So I think they're going to kind of, focus on or rely on him to be that leader on the defensive side and do exactly what you just said, Doug. Try and make Windsor a little more one-dimensional.
Yeah, 100%. I think containing that run is going to be key for this Pomona team to take the win today. All right, don't go anywhere. We will be right back with some picks and sending you into kickoff, which is now officially under 20 minutes away. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Raising Cane's invites you to grab life by the chicken fingers. So get out there. Be you. Do you. Embrace whatever makes you, you. All while enjoying Raising Cane's hand-battered cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crispy crinkle-cut fries, buttery Texas toast, and that secret recipe cane sauce that makes everything that much better. So go on, savor the day.
Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
With millions of page views every year, ColoradoPreps.com is the #1 source for the high school sports community to keep up with the latest news and scores. From football and volleyball to basketball and softball, ColoradoPreps.com provides a year-round hub for coaches, friends, and family to stay connected to their favorite schools and athletes, and keep an eye on their rivals. Covering high school sports from the peaks to the plains, you always get the latest at ColoradoPreps.com.
The Benefits Broker team of agents has over 100 years in employee benefits and individual health care needs and is your 24/7 resource for a variety of essential benefits-related information. Clients have enjoyed the ability to connect in person or by phone, while others enjoy the convenience of their online service where they can review the status of their claims, obtain summaries, and download forms including claim forms. Dave and Steve do their homework so you don't have to. They know the market by distinguishing the best products from the merely adequate. Give them a call at 877-545-4840 or visit them online at benefitsbroker.com.
Yo, these KDs are fire. KD, you work here?
Whatever, kid.
Take notes. Every shoe for every athlete, only at Dick's.
All right, welcome back to Canvas Stadium, the Road to State Championship Saturday show, sponsored by Raising Cane's. Now, one more plug, because if you haven't gotten Raising Cane's on your Saturday to-do list, and also you're not coming to the stadium, then you have to add it to your to-do list. It's not negotiable. Whether it's kickoff, halftime, or post-game, you can't go wrong with Raising Cane's. Hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crispy crinkle fries, buttery Texas toast, and signature cane sauce. We love it. That's how real fans fuel up. Add in freshly squeezed lemonade or freshly brewed tea, and you've got yourself a game day win. From drive-through to dine-in, Cane's brings the flavor every single time. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love, guys.
What are you guys gonna do Tuesday? Like I'm just so used to eating Raising Cane's on Tuesdays.
I mean, I'll probably still go on my own time. To be honest,
which store am I gonna have dinner at?
They've got a lot. They've many locations in Colorado, so go check them out if you haven't. And if you've never eaten at Raising Cane's, you need to change that today.
And here's the good news. We're now officially going to be in winter sports season. Grab some canes on the way to your local hoops game, Doug.
Yeah,
exactly.
Let's do it. All right, we are about to kick off this 3A game, but we would be remiss if we did not end the show without our picks. Have they changed at all from Tuesday of this week? You're about to find out. Let's start with 5A and work our way down to 3A as we are just minutes from kickoff behind us. Doug, who you got in 5A? Cherry Creek and Ralston Valley.
I hate to do this.
Do it.
Because I love the story that comes along with Ralston Valley. I just think Cherry Creek is too good. I think they've been too good from week 1 to right now. I think it would take a Herculean effort, which I can see Ralston Valley having, but it still might not be good enough because that's just how good Cherry Creek is.
Yeah. I'm going with Ralston Valley. Signed it, done it. That's my pick.
I went Ralston Valley on Tuesday, so it would be a little disingenuous to change that pick now. It feels like one of those nights where it's their first state championship game. They're all behind Coach Yano. Something special could happen. Yeah. So let's have some fun. Ralston Valley.
Let's have some fun. 4A, Dakota Ridge, Palmer Ridge. Dan, who you got?
I'm going with Dakota Ridge. I think Landon Callsback is the best player on the field. He plays, he's on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. I think It's going to be tough. It's going to be physical, but give me the Eagles.
Okay, I got Palmer Ridge Bears going. I think their grit last week against Montrose showed me that they can really hang, and they could take it away today.
Yeah, I think this is the toughest game of the day to pick because both teams are very good. Both teams are two-dimensional. They can play the run game. They can play the pass game. But I'm with Dan. I'm gonna go with Dakota Ridge on this one.
I'm the odd man out. And then finally, with our 3A game that is on the field, set to kick off in just 15 minutes or so. Windsor, Pomona. Doug, who do you have?
I'm going with Pomona. I just think they feel like a team
Feel
of
good about
destiny. I think
Destiny.
yeah,
Wow. All right.
Well, just you get that vibe from the kids and the coach, and
Yeah,
Tuesday,
okay.
I feel like they're a team that's poised to win a state title.
I'm going with Windsor. Coach Jones won me over, but I think that they've also, as a team, proven themselves time and time again this season. I think they take it this morning.
Well, I mean, we're sitting right below the Windsor fans.
We are sitting below Windsor fans.
They've
so-
heckled us a little bit, and then Windsor athletic director Eric Johnson swung by the group, and I mean, it's just be a fun way to do it. We don't have mascot heads. We can't do the Lee Corso thing, but
that's sweet.
Give me the Windsor Wizards.
Okay, Windsor Wizards, you heard it first. Okay, this championship Saturday has been packed full of fun. We hopefully have set you up to get you ready for the day experience. Starting
altitude with our
and
buddies down
altitude
there.
sports. They
This
got you
matchup
covered for
kinda
that.
took your breath away, didn't it?
The cold made me cough, and I was trying to
That's how
not
good
to. I'm
this game's
so
gonna be.
sorry. I was brought to tears by Windsor and Pomona. No, thank you guys so much for joining us. Doug, Dan, I'm Ashley. We will be back after the 3A game, getting you ready for the Dakota Ridge, Palmer Ridge. So stick with us all day in between games, and of course, altitude for game day coverage. Thanks so much for joining the Road to State Saturday Championship Show, sponsored by Raising Canes. We'll see you later.